So let's go over a class that you're going to see at most open shows and your 4-H shows, Showmanship. Showmanship is a pattern class that you're going to do in hand. In hand means that you're going to be on the ground, you're not going to be riding. For Showmanship, you'll need a halter and a lead rope. Typically, your lead rope is going to have a chain, and that chain generally goes underneath your horse's chin. The Showmanship class is a class where you're judged on basically how well you and your horse work together. You want to look kind of like your dance partners, essentially. While you're not judged on your horse's conformation, you are judged on if they're well groomed or not, if they're trimmed, if they're clean, if you're clean. Got to make sure you're well groomed as well. So your hair should be neatly placed in a bun if you have long hair. That way it stays out of the way of your number that's going to be on your back, and the judge can see your number and see your body and your body position as well. You're also judged on how well of a handler you are. You want your arms to be tucked in nicely at your side with a soft bend in your elbow. You want to be looking up and forward where you're going. You don't want to be looking at the ground at any point. One thing with Showmanship is you're not allowed to touch your horse. You can't touch the chain either. So you have to use some verbal cues and body cues when you're working the pattern. Typically in Showmanship, you're going to have a pattern in your class. Those patterns are going to consist of walking, jogging, some pivots, backs, and inspection. An inspection is when the judge walks around your horse and inspects it. I like Showmanship for a lot of reasons. One thing I like about it is you don't have to have the fanciest horse, since you're not being judged on how well they move in terms of their legs, but you are being judged on how well you execute the pattern and if you work together. So you can work on Showmanship at home no matter what the weather, pretty much. You can work on setting up your horse. You can work on walking, having them stop and walk with you whenever you move your body. You can work on trotting most of the time when the weather is not too bad. If you have an indoor arena, even if it's small, you can do a whole pattern for Showmanship practice. You can work on pivoting with just a fence alongside of you to start. So you're pushing them away from the fence. Same thing with, you can use a fence or a wall when you're teaching your horse how to back nice and straight, which with backing, you want to make sure they're backing away off your body, not off of the chain pressure, which takes some time to get there, but it's something that you can have as a goal that you can do without riding. The pivot is something that you want to be practicing on, making sure you're moving their shoulders and keeping them nice and straight when they're pivoting. Showmanship is a great class for newbies because it can be a lot less intimidating than riding a horse in an arena, and a lot of shows are offering walk-trot Showmanship, which means the pattern is a lot less complicated. Is Showmanship one class that you want to try for 2026?